All right, grade 8. Well, welcome to class. I know this is a little bit different, but I'm doing this to help you guys in a way. So we will have our quiz on this unit. What is this? Unit 3 on Thursday. So I want to make sure that you guys have what you need to go through this. Usually we do this normally on Zoom right now, but in this case, I want to make this so that you can reference back to it whenever you need to go through all these pages. I think you've already done page 1. I know we've done at least page 1 in class, which looks like this, okay? I think we did this one the other day. I've got all of that written down, okay? I think we were pretty happy with that. Now, if we go back to this, so what I want to do in these next, 20-ish minutes, we'll see how long this is. We're going to do page 2, 3, and 4. If you've already done page 2, well, skip over this, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe just review it, make sure you got it all down, and you'll be good to go. And then you can go ahead and finish page 3 and 4. We're going to do it in this sense for the purpose of, if you need to pause it, you can pause it, complete that work. I'm going to go through it a little bit quicker because you have the ability to pause it and then come back. And then you can unpause it and keep going, and you can work everything out. So that way we can be fully ready for a quiz on Thursday. Sound good? Sounds good. All right. So thus begins class. All right, let's do this. I'm going on over to page 2, which should look like this. Okay, should be up here on the top right. You can be able to see me. This is a little crooked in that paper. That's all right. We'll be okay. So first things first, here's what I want you to do. I want you to pause this video if you haven't done page 2 yet, okay? I want you to pause this in just a second, and I want you to read this portion on your own. You're old enough, you can do that. You can explain it, right? You can read that stuff. So go ahead and pause it right now. All right, I'm guessing if you're back, that means you unpaused it, and then we can proceed and that you've read this stuff. So it is, yes, talking about the 3/4 time signature. Just going to review this real quick, make sure you got it. That means there are 3 beats in every measure, okay? In this case, this is your most important part you need to know right here. Okay, 3 means there are 3 beats in the measure, right? That tells you how many beats are in the measure. And then the bottom number, 4, in this case, tells us what kind of note receives 1 beat. Or in their words, 4 means the quarter note receives 1 beat. Okay, so we got that. If it said like 3/8, time signature of 3/8, that would mean that there's 3/8 notes in a beat, or excuse me, in a measure. Okay, or if it said, well, yeah, in that case, or another option would be there are 3 half notes in a measure. That's also an option. But in this case, there are 3 quarter notes in a measure. Okay, so we've got that. We're happy with that. And let's go down and let's finish this off. Okay, so what I just explained was that whole thing. You guys are good. You got that. Let's go down to the exercises section. Okay. And this is saying complete the measures using 1 note or rest. And it's going to tell you which one, and count and clap. We may do that after. We'll see. So, okay, let's go ahead and try this out. This first one, what is this? Number 1. We are in 3/4, meaning 3 beats in a measure, and they're asking for a rest. So this half note is going to cover beat 1 and 2. Simple enough. We know this from playing music all the time. Now we're just writing it, okay? So they need a rest. What rest is worth 1 beat? And to that you would say, quarter note, quarter note.
Excellent. Absolutely.
All right.
Excellent.
So quarter rest. I should have done this. Yes, quarter rest. I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. Good. Now they're looking for another rest. Again, worth 1 beat. You guys know what to do right there. Okay. And I'll do one more. You need, this one already gives you 1 rest. Okay. So you got to do, you're going to cover those other 2 beats. So we're going to put 1 note that covers 2 beats, half note right there. Cool. We're good to go. We've got that. You guys can finish off number 1 on your own. Number 2, again, I think you've done this page, but this is just a review in case. Okay. Number 2, circle the measures with the incorrect number of beats. Okay, so let's check which ones have 3, which one does not have 3 beats. What do you think? Take a look. Go ahead and answer it right now, and you can pause this and I'll give you the answer. So pause it. Cool. All right, we're back. Let's see. What would that be? I'm going to choose, I'm going to give you one of the measures that are incorrect. And that would be this one right here. Okay, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's 4 beats in a measure. That would be wrong. They were looking for 3 beats in a measure. Okay, going on quick to number 3. In the example below, oh, by the way, there's 3 measures that are incorrect for number 2. Okay, let's go on. Number 3, in the example below, draw bar lines and a double bar in the correct places. Okay, so you know your time signature is 3, 4. Okay, no problem. So let's go into that. Now there's going to be 3 beats in every measure. I'm going to kind of cheat and I'm going to use a ruler here because I like things looking neat. We're going to do 1, 2, 3 beats. Okay, we'll put a bar. Next one, 1, 2, 3 beats. We'll put another bar. Good. You get the point. I'm going to go all the way to the end and go ahead and put my double bar. I'm going to zoom in there so we can make it look nice and neat. There's my double bar, looking good. All right, you get the point. You can go ahead and put all those bar lines in wherever they should go. Finally, number 4, in the exercise below, add the note stems, bar lines, and a double bar, and add a whole rest where appropriate. That's a lot of things that we got to do. And then for 4B, write the beats below the grand staff, and then count and clap. Okay, and then for 4C, write the names of the notes below the beats. That's a lot of stuff. So I'm not going to do all of it because you guys can do that, but I'm going to show you some of it right now. So let's look at 4A. It says add the note stems, bar lines, and a double bar. Okay, so let's do notes actually. Yeah, let's do note stems. You know, we're in 3, 4. Okay, 3 beats in a measure. So this first note right here is going to get 2 beats, and this note gets 1 beat because it's a quarter note. But they need stems. Okay, so let's go ahead and add stems to that. Okay, there we go. We got our stems. Now I need to make sure we have our bar line because it's after 3 beats. Remember, in a grand staff, the bar line needs to go all the way up across both staves. Okay, staves are multiple staffs. Okay, so we got that. And then we've got our bar line, our note stems. Let's go ahead and add our double bar at the very end. That way I can know that things are complete. And of course, you guys will finish the whole thing, right, and answer those off. But we got our double bar. That's good. Now 4B says write the beats below the grand staff and then count and clap. All right. Again, you know there's how many beats in a measure? Yes, 3 is correct. So let's go ahead and put beat 1, 2, 3. Over here, 1, 2, 3. And then that's where that next bar line goes, right? So I'm going to put that there and make it look pretty good. Okay, we've got that going. I'm happy with that. And then, of course, the stems will go on that. Where that came from, get that rid of, okay? And then another part, it says, oh, look at 4A. I skipped one part. It says add whole rests where appropriate. Remember, whole rest can cover a whole measure no matter what time signature you're in, okay? So let's go for, let me add one more bar line. You're gonna see where this takes place. I'm gonna go right here, okay? So we've got that. Now, you know, down here, something needs to happen. Up here, something needs to happen because you can't just leave it empty. And down here, something needs to happen. That's where those whole rests will go, okay? So we're gonna put, remember, a whole rest hangs down from the 4th line. Half rest goes up from the 3rd line. Whole rest goes down from the 4th line. So we're going to put this right here. Okay, I'm going to fill that in, make it look really neat as possible. There we go. That's a decent whole rest, and it covers that. Okay, you also need a whole rest here, down there, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we've got all that. Now our last part. In 4C, it's saying write the names of the notes below the beats. Okay, so we already got the beats. Now let's write the names. So again, we're in bass clef right here. Okay, our first note on the 4th line. If you remember bass clef lines, good boys deserve fudge always. Oh, it's pretty even. All right. So let's go ahead. Now that would mean this first note is, somebody tell me. Yes, it is F. So I'm going to go ahead and put F right there. And the next note, spaces for bass clef. All cows eat. Yep. Go ahead and put E. You get the point. Whenever you're doing these things, guys, please remember to use capital letters when you're drawing note names. Okay. It makes more sense later down the road when we're doing chord symbols and stuff like that. Trust me on it for now. Okay. You get the point for number 4. I'm moving on to the next page. Let's see what we got. Again, just like I did on the last one, I want you to pause this video in a second and read, whoopsies, wrong pen, read all of this just so you can know all of it. And more importantly, when we have our quiz on Thursday, there will be parts of this that are in the quiz, okay, that you need to make sure you know. So go ahead and do that. You're going to pause the video right now. All right, and since you're back, there's our bell. Let's go ahead and keep this thing going. Dotted half notes, very important. You read them all the time. Now we're just writing them and making sure that we understand all of it, okay? So dotted half notes, no problem. What I want you to do, the most important thing of this step right here, just gonna move that out of the way. I want you, and I say this in class all the time, you guys should know this, right? A dot adds half of the note's value. I want you to write that up top. A dot adds half of the note's value. Okay. Cool. So we got all that in there. We're good to go. Make sure you have that written in yours as well. That'll help things. Okay. So a dot adds half the note's value. You guys already took the time to read all that. I'm not going to explain it so much because you understand it. Okay. So let's go down. Now we got exercises. Number 1. This stuff is fairly simple, or at least it should be right now. If not, let's cover it. So 1A, a quarter note, or it's telling us write one note equal in value to the sum of the notes or rests. Okay, we can do that. So basically a quarter note plus a half note equals how many beats? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 4 is correct. Not, just kidding, not 4. Just want to make sure you're paying attention. It is 3, right? 3 beats. So what note gets 3 beats? Think about it. Yes, a dotted half note. I hope you got that right. We're going to go ahead and put dotted half note. Okay, you get the point. That's how those things work. Let's do another one. What about 1D? A rest and a rest equals how many rests? 2 rests. Yep. So then we have to write 1 rest worth 2 beats. In this case, a half rest. Just like a half note gets 2 beats, now a half rest gets 2 beats. So a half rest looks like this. Good to go. Okay, that would be our half rest. It's a pretty decent looking half rest. Going over it, you can do the rest of number 1. What about number 2? It says write the number of beats remaining in each example. So we're not doing a note anymore. Now we're writing a number. Okay, so a dotted half note worth 3 beats minus a half note, which is 2 beats, equals what? 3 minus 2 is 1. Good. We're going to go ahead and put 1. There's our answer. You get the point. What about 2C? You got a whole note worth 4. Oopsies. Just make that clean. A whole note gets 4 beats, and a quarter note gets 1 beat. 4 minus 1 equals 3. All right, so you're going to go ahead and put 3. You get the point. You can go do that. Okay, moving on to number 3. Complete the measures using one note or rest. All right, no problem. And count and clap. Yeah, we might do that later. So 3A, we can only use 1 rest. Only 1. That's the most important part. 1 note or rest. Okay, now look, you're in 4/4. This is your time signature. Woo! Sorry about that. 4/4. So your first 3 beats are taken care of right here. That takes care of 1, 2, 3. And now under beat 4, you need a rest. What rest gets 1 beat? Quarter rest. Good. Let's go ahead and put a quarter rest right there. Looks like a decent rest. Now the next one, you need a rest that gets 3 beats. 3 beats. You got to think about that one. Quarter rest? No. Half rest? No. Whole rest? No. Something in the middle. Remember, we're talking about dots right now. A dot adds half the note's value or half the rest value. Either one of those. So in this case, you got this one, this half note taking up 2 beats. So we need a rest that takes up 2 beats. It's going to go right here. Okay, 2 beats taken up. There's our half rest. You get the point. You can go ahead and do that. Okay, remember this one over here says you need to use a note, not a rest. Okay, a note. Going on 3B, same kind of deal, but now you are in 3/4. So be mindful of that when you finish it. Okay, and again, pause this video whenever you need. That way you can keep up with what we're doing. Your last one, number 4. Okay, in the example below, draw the grand staff. There's 4, remember this, 4 main parts to a grand staff. They're very important. You got to remember what those are. Number 1, the line. Number 2, the brace. Number 3, the treble clef. Number 4, the bass clef. So you're all 4 main important things. So swapping back over to here, draw the grand staff. All right, let's do that. I'm going to start with my line, because it makes me feel like things are more complete when I have that right there. Okay, and then we're going to have our brace. Our brace is going to go on the side. That's a decent looking brace. All right, we've got our brace. Now we need our clefs. So which one goes up top, our treble or bass? Yes, our treble goes up top. Okay, that right there. That's our treble clef, and then at the bottom is our bass clef. Just like that. Okay, so 4A is complete. What about 4B? It says add note stems, bar lines, and a double bar. You know how to do this. We've been doing this anyway. I'm going to go ahead and put my double bar because I want things to look complete over here. Okay, there's one part of it, 2 parts. Double bar is done. And then add the note stems and bar lines. All right, let's put a couple bar lines. And your time signature, very important. You're in 4/4, so 4 beats in every measure. So this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll put bar line. What about this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Put another bar line. Okay, you get the point. You can do that on your own. And then we're going to add note stems. Does this first note look like it needs a stem? Yeah, it does. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put our note stem right there. Okay, and that one you can do the note stems over. What about this note? Does that look like it needs a stem? No, that's a whole note. All right, so you're just going to leave that note and draw the bar lines around it. Your last part, write the names of the notes below the grand staff. All right, let's do that. First one, G. Remember, capital letters. Okay, what about your second measure? Let's put our stems real quick. Okay, we've got G, E, G, E. Okay, you get the point. You can go ahead and finish the rest of that on your own. Okay, just pause the video, go ahead and do that. So what about, are we on our last page? Yeah, we've made it. Let's go. All right, so let's do this. Ties and slurs, just like I've done in the last few minutes. I want you guys to take a few minutes, read that portion of the page starting now. Pause the video. All right, and we're back because I'm guessing you read all of it. You unpaused it. We're ready to go. He said, Mr. George, I already know this stuff. Good. That means I'm doing my job and I've taught you well. Gotcha. So, ties and slurs. A tie joins 2 notes of the same pitch. That's the main part right here. Tie, same pitch. Slurs, different pitches. Okay, we play them all the time in class. If you're in junior band, you do this all the time. Okay, but in this case right now, we're doing the differences of ties and slurs and labeling them. Okay, so again, tie, 2 of the same pitches, just like that right there. Slurs, when you're tying different pitches together. That did not make sense. When you're connecting different pitches together, right? So in this case, you would not play this, let's take trumpet, for example, like ta, 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 you would play ta, because they're all connected, right? If those were the wrong notes, forgive me. I don't have perfect pitch, but I wish I did. That would be so cool. Okay, going down here, this tells you, if you read this, how these things apply to different instruments, right? Because violins, if you think about it, if you play a string instrument, you can't really tongue different notes. You're not using air. It's not a wind instrument. It's a string instrument. So you would do it differently when you're playing a violin or a string instrument or piano. All right, those are all different things. So I'll leave that to you guys. You can go ahead and read that on your own because, again, it may come up in your quiz on Thursday. So I'd recommend taking a look at that, okay? Now, what about this one? Exercise number 1. It says, write the note that equals tied notes. Write the note that equals the tied notes, okay? So let's do that. You know that 2 quarter notes make 2 beats. Which note gets 2 beats? That would be correct, a half note, okay? I'm gonna put half note. Simple enough, you get the point. We're not gonna take too much time on that. You go ahead and finish those ones on your own, okay? If you need to pause it, pause the video because I'm moving on quick. Okay, next part, number 2, write the number of beats in each example. You're no longer writing a note, you're writing a number, okay? Write the number of beats in each example. Let's take this one, for example, okay? A quarter note and, well, there we go, a quarter note and a dotted half note. So 1 beat and 3 beats equals, yes, 4 would be your correct answer. So go ahead and write 4. Okay, you got that. And zoom out so you can see everything. Okay, what about number 3? It says in each example, mark an S standing for slur or T standing for tie, to indicate whether the musical passage is made up of tied or slurred notes. Again, here's your reminder. Tied is the same pitch. Slurred are different pitches, okay? So what are we doing about 3A? Right, we're tying the same things together. So in this case, we're gonna put T for tie. Let's find one that has slur. What about this one, D? You got different pitches, right? They're going down that way. So we're gonna go ahead and put S for slur. Okay, and finally, number 4. You guys can finish again the rest of it for number 3. Number 4, write a slur or tie in each example and mark an S or T below. So if you remember, how do we draw those things? Let's look up top. Remember, those are our examples that we're taken from. You usually do it from the note head. Okay, the note head is where we're doing it. And it goes in the direction opposite of the stems. Okay, as you can see right here, you're like, what are you talking about, Mr. George? Right, this is the note head, that thing right there. The stem is going this way. So we're gonna draw this, the slur, or excuse me, in this case, the tie down here, just like they did, okay? And same rule applies for slurs as well. So let's go down here. Our first one, 4A. Obviously, they're different pitches, so it's not going to be a tie. It's going to be a slur, and we're going to go this way. Whoop. That's going to be our slur. And then we're going to write below S. Okay, what about this one? The next one, B. You're going to put it right here. That's a little bit better. And is this a slur or a tie? Right, this is a tie. Good job. Cool. So that, you guys can finish the rest of it on your own, but that concludes our unit. Nicely done, nicely done. So again, we are going to have our quiz on Thursday, okay? You guys need to make sure that you have this packet finished by then. Again, the point of this video is that you can pause it or come back to it whenever you need. You should have the whole packet completed by Thursday. Keep an eye open for Google Classroom because I will give it to you, your quiz on there. That way we can all access it. If you can print it off, all that. We'll talk about this on our Zoom class anyway, okay? But guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this helped. Please let me know. If you need to come back and reference to it anytime, you know where to find it. Just type in Mr. George and YouTube, and this channel should come up, okay? All right, guys, have a wonderful day. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.